The Supreme Court rules against tariffs 6-3. What does that mean? What is going on, everyone? Jeremy Ritz here. Courage pays better than fear trading. Happy Friday. What's the date here? I gotta check. Come on, watch. Hold on. Happy Friday, February 20th. I hope you are having a phenomenal day. And what a day it has been. We got PCE, which came in hot, personal consumption expenditures. We got GDP, and that actually showed that the economy was slowing, though some are attributing that to the government shutdown. And it's also options expiration day, which injects a lot of volatility into the markets. And we also got the ruling from the Supreme Court about the constitutionality of tariffs and whether or not the president had the authority to implement them. And they voted that no, the president cannot, 6-3. And so it has just been a smorgasbord of volatility and data, and the market doesn't seem to really care at this point. However, I would just caution that the day is not over yet. I'm recording this at 2:19 p.m. and we saw lots and lots of fluctuations today, and it was a day trader's paradise for sure. All right, but right now, at the time that I'm recording this, the SPX is up about 41 points, and Trump just finished a press conference, was talking about how even though the Supreme Court ruled against them, that he is still able to utilize different statutes, codes, laws. I'm not 100% certain on the vernacular, to essentially keep what he wants to do in place, though the method's going to be a little bit more complicated. And he said that he now has more certainty than ever about how to effectively use tariffs, and that it's a good thing for the American economy, while at the same time being critical of the decision made by the Supreme Court. So it's kind of hard to interpret what the reality of the message is. But one thing that was interesting is there was no language in the opinion, because this was an opinion from the Supreme Court. There was no language there in terms of what the current administration has to do with the funds collected from these tariffs. So very, very interesting. And ultimately, the way that I'm looking at this is it's going to slow down and stall what this administration is attempting to do with tariffs. And so what do I mean by that? Well, there's probably going to be litigation. There's going to be lawsuits. There's going to be a lot of back and forth, which basically is just going to put this whole process into a state of a standstill. And there's probably not going to be any progression. And who knows if this will even be resolved during Trump's term. Because once things get into courts and legal battles and such, they just kind of go there and really just get bounced back and forth, and no decision is made. So in terms of the stock market, which is what we really care about, at first interpretation of this, I need to do a little bit more reading, but my first interpretation is I don't think much has really changed here. And it could end up being a win for the markets. Now, some people could argue that this is going to inject some more uncertainty into the markets, because we went from knowing what was happening. My hair's all I need a haircut, man. And look at this 5 head. It's out of control. I'm Finnish, right? From Finland. That's my ancestry. So we have 5 heads. Anyway, I digress. Where the hell was I? I don't even remember. What was I saying? Oh my gosh, guys. What was I saying? Oh yeah, see, I'm leaving that in there. I'm not even editing that out. So it could inject some uncertainty into the markets, because what we thought was the process with tariffs could be adjusted and jacked up a little bit, but we don't know. I don't think it's going to be much of anything. Like I said, I think it will just slow things down and just kind of put things in a suspended state of, hey, yeah, this will eventually get resolved, but probably not within Trump's term. The bigger thing to pay attention to is market structure still shows weakness. The market has not closed yet today on a Friday. Even though the broader markets are up, I would not rest on your laurels with that, because it is still options expiration day, and we still have the threat of a U.S.-Iranian war on tap that could pop off as soon as this weekend. So, you know, we'll see with that. And I'm going to throw this out here too. It's just something to monitor, right? Because we have to, you know, if you're a student of the markets, you kind of want to just survey the landscape of the things that are happening now. And one thing that I haven't talked about yet is just keep an eye on everything that is coming out of the Department of Justice releasing the Epstein files, the names associated with that, and if more information comes out of that pulls in current people of power, politicians, etc. in the United States, and what type of impacts that could have on markets. So I just kind of have that in my peripheral vision. I'm watching that. We've seen an arrest happen in the UK. So just kind of watch that as a kind of an outside catalyst. But we've got to be aware of the things that could bring volatility into the markets. But yeah, so what ended up being a jam-packed day. Again, we still have time left. The market is currently up. And we saw round trips. We saw it drop down, go negative. We saw it pop up, go positive, drop down, go negative, pop back up. And so I expect before this day is over, said and done, that we're going to get a little bit more of that. But we did get the data. We did get the Supreme Court opinion, and at least some of those things can now roll off. And the market can now, as you know, you should be able to complete my sentences at this point. The markets will find their next thing to worry about, because that's what they do. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, have not been posting a bunch of shorts here this month. I had planned to do some things with day trading, a day trading celebration month. But I'll be honest with you, I'm just kind of settling in this month, kind of getting a plan mapped out for March, really focusing in on my coaching students, the blueprint mentorship, making sure that they're getting everything from me, and most importantly, prioritizing the family. But I am going to have some cool stuff coming up here, but I wanted to get this episode of Driven Out to you guys here today. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, and well, I said ladies and gentlemen. I was going to say ladies and gentlemen and women. Happy Friday, guys. Make it a great day. Honor the moment. And as always, be grateful. Take care. I'm probably going to go check the market right now, and it's down like 50 points. See ya.